was Christianity in Africa, but it was also in West Africa prior to the transatlantic slave trade. Let's go. The first source I'm gonna need you to go ahead and pick up is Thomas Oden's How Africa Shaped the Christian Mind, where in it he says Africa played a decisive role in the formation of Christian culture. Decisive intellectual achievements of Christianity were explored and understood first in Africa before they were recognized in Europe, and a millennium before they found their way into North America. Furthermore, the classic Christian mind is significantly shaped by the African imagination spawned on African soil. It bears the stamp of philosophical analysis, moral insight, discipline, and scriptural interpretations that bloomed first in Africa before anywhere else. From the very beginning of the church, there were people of color in Jerusalem on the day the church was birthed out. There were people there of color from places like Libya, Cyrene, and Egypt. Europe didn't give Africa Christianity. Africa gave Europe Christianity. Christianity went to enter Europe on Paul's second missionary journey, and Acts 13 says that 2 of the 3 people that laid hands on Paul before he went to take the gospel to Europe, 2 of those 3 were black men. One of them, Lucius of Cyrene in Africa, and the other one, Simeon, called the Niger, which literally means the black man. You know anything about church history, you'll know that the first Christian nation in the entire world was King Ezana's Aksumite Empire, which converted to Christianity without having to torture and kill people in order to do it. One of the foremost scholars on the subject is Dr. Vince Bantu, and he talks about how Nubia and Ethiopia were the only urbanized black civilizations in the first few centuries of the church, but then it began to spread to places like Mali, Ghana, the Congo, and Zimbabwe as well during trade. And then he talks about a quote from King Mansa Musa that says in the Mali Empire that there were Christians in his kingdom. Let's look at that primary source. Here's the direct quote from a Muslim historian that demonstrates that there were people in the Mali Empire in West Africa that owned land that produced gold. And every time they tried to come in and conquer that land by force, the gold stopped producing. Did you know that one of the primary reasons we understand the triune nature of God is because it was a black man from North Africa named Tertullian of Carthage that came up with the word Trinity to describe God's nature as being triune? The world's first seminary, the world's first university in Alexandria, Egypt, the way that Christian councils were developed, the way that Christian exegesis was done, was all formed and developed in Africa.